number 1, Master Swordsman, Tommy Carmody. 2 is the favourite, ridden by Ken Morgan. 3, Lucky Baloo, ridden by Podge Gill. 4, Capable, David Doran. 6, Chanuska, Niall Connolly. 7, a non-runner, as was 5. 8 is Ard Bren, ridden by Frank Berry. 9, Blitzkrieg, Tommy Ryan. 10, Break the Ruler, ridden by Mr. Philip Dempsey. 11 is Redundant Pal, Tony Mullins. 12 rather, Thursting's First, Charlie Swan. And 13 is also a non-runner. And Carvill's Hill, one of the most exciting horses seen in Ireland for a number of years, is favourite at 6-4 on. And his rider just taking him over towards the ones on the inside who are headed by Master Swordsman and Tommy Carmody. In between the two, Mr. Baloo, Lucky Baloo rather, as they make their way down towards the first. And it's Master Swordsman who leads, and Master Baloo in second. First things first, Lucky Baloo rather. First things first is disputing third with Carvill's Hill, then Blitzkrieg and Redundant Pal on the outside. And it's Master Swordsman who's making it a real good gallop as they jump. Oh, jump the first. Tommy Carmody's heart must have been in his mouth there, because he took off on completely the wrong foot, Master Swordsman, and that's checked him a little bit. Lucky Baloo and Redundant Pal looming up with him, and Carvill Hill, who usually makes it. Well, Ken Morgan's been happy to settle him in 4th place today, as Master Swordsman and Redundant Pal make it a real good pace from Lucky Baloo in 3rd. Carvill's Hill is 4th, then Capable on the outside of First Things First, then Blake the Ruler and Chanuska, and the back markers, the Northern Ireland horse, Ard Bren, as they jump the 2nd. A real good gallop as they just breast the hill there with Redundant Pal and Tony Mullins racing wide, but the clear leader now. From in 2nd place, Master Swordsman, Carvill's Hill disputing 3rd with Lucky Baloo, then Capable and Blitzkrieg and Chanuska as they jump the 3rd. All over that, and Redundant Pal in a clear lead now, really bowling away down the hill, going 7 or 8 lengths clear. The dark horse of the race this, Redundant Pal. Lucky Baloo on the outside of Master Swordsman. In 4th is Carvill's Hill, just lobbing along as they come to the next. All over that with Redundant Pal with a clear lead now. Lucky Baloo's in 2nd, Master Swordsman is 3rd, Carvill's Hill is 4th. Then a gap back to Capable, then a long gap back to Blitzkrieg, and First Things First, Break the Ruler, Chanuska, and the back marker, Ard Bren. On the far side of the course now, Redundant Pal by 3 or 4 lengths from Lucky Baloo, 2nd, Master Swordsman 3rd. Carvill's Hill, the 6-4 on favourite, is 4th. Capable is 5th, and these 5 are well clear as they face up to the 5th. And the leader flew that. Redundant Pal by 6 lengths from Master Swordsman 2nd, Lucky Baloo 3rd. Carvill's Hill moving up easily on the outside of that. Then a gap back to Capable, then a long gap back to Blitzkrieg, who heads the chasing group. But really there are 2 races almost at present, and the race in front is headed by Redundant Pal. Redundant Pal pursued by Carvill's Hill, who moves into 2nd place now as they jump that one. Disputing 3rd is Lucky Baloo and Master Swordsman, then a gap back to Capable, then a gap back to Blitzkrieg, and Break the Ruler as the leader swings right hand with 3 to jump. Redundant Pal by 2.5 lengths from Carvill's Hill, lobbing in 2nd place and handling the course very well so far. Disputing 3rd is Lucky Baloo and Master Swordsman. These 4 are clear, but it's still Redundant Pal by 2 or 3 lengths, and flew that one. But Ken Morgan's not particularly worried on the favourite, and he's just closing the gap a little bit as they start the run down the hill towards the 2nd last. And here comes Carvill's Hill. A ripple of excitement goes up from the crowd as he jumps his way into the lead. Just nodded a little bit at that, but Carvill's Hill by half a length from Redundant Pal, who's sticking to him. Gap of 15 lengths back now to Lucky Baloo, and then even further back to Master Swordsman. A 2-horse race. That's a 1-horse race, because Carvill's Hill has stormed into the lead as they come round the bend. Ken Morgan looks over his right shoulder twice, 3 times. There's no danger now as he comes to the last. Carvill's Hill looking every inch a champion. Tony Mullins goes for his whip on Redundant Pal with no response. Lucky Baloo is 3rd, and here he comes to the last. This giant, this possible champion, Carvill's Hill, at the last flight of hurdles, pricks his ears, jumps a little bit away to the left. But to the cheers of the crowd, he comes home on his own. The rest are absolutely out on their feet. And this is some racehorse. Carvill's Hill, the crowd applaud him as he passes the post. 15, 20 lengths clear from Redundant Pal in 2nd. Lucky Baloo runs on to be 3rd. First Things First just fails to get up for 3rd place. Then back in 5th was Break the Ruler, 6th was Master Swordsman, 7th Blitzkrieg, 8th was Capable, and the last to finish are Bryn and Chanuska. So the result of the Sean Graham hurdle, a brilliant win for number 2, Carvill's Hill, owned by Mrs. J. McMurray, trained by Jim Draper and ridden by Ken Morgan. Second was number 11, Redundant Pal.
Redundant Pal there, 5-1. Seems to be a photo for third. We have